Hey guys, my name is Vanya, the channel is RC Alley, and in this video I'll do a quick comparison between the team associated B64 and the B74. Let's get started. So starting at the front, on the side here, the caster blocks are 9 degrees. I think on the B64 they were either 7 or 13, maybe 7 or 10 even. I don't remember. I think 7 was carpet and maybe 10 was in the dirt car, and the 13 was an option. But it's just 9 degree on the B74. Moving on to the drive shafts, 76 millimeter, or I'm sorry, 74 millimeter drive shafts on the B74 and 76 on the B64. Moving on is the A-arms. The new A-arms are completely different. They just don't even, I mean, they look like A-arms, but they look nothing like the B64 A-arms. And then moving into the middle, I don't know how hard you'll be able to see from this angle, but the bulkhead is all aluminum now. I really like the design. On the B64, the cover broke a couple times on me. Now I haven't had it happen in a long time. Maybe that's because they fixed them. I'm not sure. They always do like running changes on these cars, so I think that might have been fixed, but either way it's all new design here and I love it. I love those diff height inserts, how easy it is to move the diff up and down. Really cool design and very different from the B64. And then the steering plates are carbon fiber, which is really cool. And actually, I'm not sure what the geometry of them is, but on my B64, these are the stock B6 steering plates. So they're not the plus one, they're not the plus two, they're just the stock B6 one. And I'm not sure about these, but they are carbon fiber now, and that's awesome because I love carbon fiber. Moving on, the top plate is now carbon fiber as well. On the B64 it was plastic. And then I'm still running the version 1 steering rack, and the new car came with what resembles the version 2 that was an upgrade part for the B64. That's really cool. And then the servo mount looks very similar, like it's similar in the way it installs, but it looks different actually, I'm sorry. So yeah, it's similar the way it installs, but looks different. And then there is no brace going from the center diff or from the, actually on this car it's just a slipper clutch, so from the slipper clutch to the top plate in the front there is no brace, as where on this car this is an aftermarket shell one, but it was a plastic piece that connected this and covered the center drive shaft. And then moving even a little further back, the slipper cover, or the diff cover I guess, on this car slipper, on this car diff, is now carbon fiber, and it's included in the box like that. For the B64 you couldn't even get the carbon fiber one to my knowledge. Now there may be some company out there that does include it or that does have it, but not to my knowledge. So that's really cool they included it. I know on the EB410, the Techno 4-wheel drive, that's an option part. And then looking back here, so under the drive shaft and under the front drive shaft down the center, there is a chassis brace. So instead of having braces on top over everything and this one going kind of from top to bottom, they're just laid down across the chassis, and that's a really neat design. And then moving to the battery strap, included carbon fiber out of the box, whereas I had to buy this separately. It was just a plastic one in the box. And then the 2 thumb screws versus just one on here. I may like this a little better because it just kind of swivels around, not that I take my battery out a whole lot anyway. but I thought that was a pretty cool design. Not that this is bad by any means. Actually, this should fit more random size shorties. Not all shorty packs are exactly the same dimensions, so I guess they were keeping that in mind, and instead of having just a couple stobs behind the battery, now you adjust them by these two screws where you want your battery to fit. So kind of like the floating servo mount, now you have a floating battery brace, which I think is really, really cool. Moving back, now the rear arms are a little bit different. They kind of look similar, but they're definitely different. And then those rear hubs, the new design is awesome. I never really upgraded this to aluminum ones. I do have a pair, but I never installed them. I'm not sure why, I just haven't, but this is really cool now that it's more adjustable than the aluminum hubs on the B64 because you can use a spacer to go in as much as you need versus, you know, having I think like 5 holes to choose from, and then you could adjust the height. And then the height here is adjusted by a single washer or as many washers as you need to add. That's a really cool design that came from other companies. I've seen this design already on some cars, but I think it's really neat that Team Associated included this in this kit. And then as far as the rear drive shafts go, they are 62 millimeters, and the B64 came with 65 millimeters. And I know these are 67. I've upgraded them just because that's what felt better at my local track. So I'm curious why they went shorter, but either way, I'm sure they know what they're doing. Every car they release, it just keeps getting better and better, so I'm sure this is no exception. And then moving back to the shock tower, it's a new design. It actually resembles, it's more narrow, looks like, but the bottom kind of resembles the shell shock tower, which I have on my B64. So basically on the B64, on the shock tower that it came with it, we needed to drill one hole, like, so you know how there were like 2 rows of holes on the shock tower. Basically at the bottom in between the 2 rows we were drilling holes to get the cars to feel right. So the shell shock tower fixed that, but now it looks like it's fixed out of the box, which is really nice. Now I'm not sure if that needs to be fixed with the new geometry or what's going on. Either way, this shock tower does resemble the Shell B64 shock tower more than it resembles the old stock B64 tower. And then moving all the way back, the wing mount is all new, and it looks a lot beefier than the stock one on the B64. You can tell this one was flimsy. I mean, I always had issues with it warping, and you know, you can push it back into place, but it's really never the same as it was when it was brand new. So hopefully this will be a more durable wing mount, and it looks like it because it is more beefy, it's rounded off, it's just thicker overall, so it does look good. Alright, for the last part of the car, I just wanted to show you these 2 cutouts on the chassis so you can access your diffs more easily. I think that's a really neat touch. None of that here, but it worked a little bit differently, so it was not necessary. And then the widths of the chassis. This is the B64, this is the B74, and clearly the B74 is quite a bit more narrow. So the B64 without the side guard is just over 3 inches, and then the B74 without the side guards is just under 3 inches, barely under. And with the side guards in the back, this is about 4.5 inches. In the front, it's just under 5. And then this is 4.5 and just at 5 at the front. So the car is a little bit more narrow, the new car, but I think they did that for flex purposes, and then use the chassis braces to tune your flex. Alright guys, that's it for this comparison. So that's it for me today, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the comparison between the B64 and the B74. The car is awesome. I haven't even driven it yet, and I know I love it. That's how good it looks. So if you've enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.